What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with Will Stewart 365, and today we are going to be doing a review and comparison between Parfums De Marly Layton and some of their clones. We've got several clones here from the house of Parfum De Marly Layton. We've got 4 different clones here. We're going to be going through each one. We're going to be smelling this. We're going to open this up. I finally got a full bottle of Layton in the most recent Jomo Shop Parfums De Marly Layton sale. But I have had and I know, don't make fun of me, but I do have a Scentbird subscription, and I use Scentbird. For me, one, I really like these particular travel atomizers, the new ones that are magnetic. They hold the fragrance well. It doesn't fade away very quickly. So they are a little bit more expensive. It's definitely not like a cost to value proposal, really. I am probably paying more for this, but I really like these particular travel atomizers that they have. It fits well in my bag, and allows me to, use the fragrances on the go. And it gives me the opportunity to test and try out some more expensive niche fragrances to see if I really like it. So we do have Parfums De Marly Layton here from this particular Scentbird. So it's not really a first impressions, but as you can see there, we do have Parfums De Marly Layton, and I have put a pretty good dent in this, travel atomizer already from them. And I also have a bunch of different clones as well. So what we are going to do first is we're going to open up the full bottle. We're going to look at the full presentation here of Parfums De Marly Layton for you guys. This is my absolute favorite Parfums De Marly fragrance. It is an absolute masterclass banger performance wise. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, if you can't afford to get the original, which I think is the best, like the clones are good, but I'm also going to be going over 4 different clones for you guys, popular clones of Parfums De Marly Layton. And we're also going to be comparing them to this particular one. I do have experience on these, so I will spray them on test strip and give you guys a little bit of information, but I also do have full wears experience on this. I've worn this fragrance many times. I've worn all of the clones many times. I know the differences between the two, performance-wise, value-wise, cost, efficiency, etc., etc. So we're going to be hitting all of those points there for you guys. So make sure you are paying attention and hitting that like button as well as the subscribe, because these types of videos definitely take some time to create and make, but we appreciate all of you guys for that. So again, normal Parfums De Marly stuff does come with a little book about the information of the house, the history of the house, etc., etc. So right here, you've got your classic matte navy blue bottle. I love the bottle. I love the color. For me, it's one of my navy blue is one of my favorite colors, and I like matte anything. So that in and of itself is a W. We got the box here, the box presentation. Again, you do have the horses on the top here, the name of the fragrance here, Royal Essence. This is in the full-size bottle, the 4.2 ounce. On the bottom, you do have barcode and information. Nothing on the sides of the box in the pinstrap box. You do have Parfums De Marly, a little bit of information about the house, concentration, etc., etc., etc. Batch code and all that good stuff is on the bottom of the bottle as normal for Parfums De Marly Layton. This particular Layton batch code, if I can get the light to see it, because the sticker is puffed up a little bit and I can't read it. Cannot read the batch code on this one with my old man eyes, but it looks a little smudged. But that's where it is, and it's also, I'm sure it's in other parts anyway. Again, super heavy, high gloss stainless steel cap, that gets finished, all of that great stuff. Again, the cap does snap into place. Got the atomizer here. The atomizers on Parfums De Marly, they're maybe a little bit pressurized. They're okay, but they're not like fantastic. So 3 sprays for that one for me to get it, or 2 sprays rather, to get fragrance to come out. Yeah, so Layton, the opening for Layton is really growing on me. When I first smelled it, I didn't like it at all. Some people say it smells like Vicks Vapor Rub. It doesn't smell like Vicks Vapor Rub to me. It's definitely just like, it's like a spicy, minty, mentholated hop right in the opening. But I'm gonna tell you what, The dry down and the opening don't smell anything alike. The dry down for this one, especially in the original, not in the clones, smells like spicy Twix. So what a Twix tastes like, imagine a slightly smoky, spicy Twix. That's what this one smells like to me. It doesn't smell necessarily what a Twix smells like, but I remember, so for me, smells and tastes are connected. And so like, even when I taste things, I can figure out how to cook it by just remembering the taste. I have a really weird memory, but Layton for me, the 1 to 2 hour dry down smells like smoky, woody Twix. And it just smells amazing. Like it's by far in the dry down is what you spend the most time with, right? Performance on all Parfums De Marly are going to be around 8 to 10 hours on my skin. Some of them go to the next day, but this one, the opening for me is not that great. I'm not a huge fan of it, but the dry down for this one is absolutely phenomenal. It is a must have. I don't think any man who wears fragrances in fall or winter should not have Parfums De Marly Layton, in my opinion. It's that good. It's that good. You got to get past the initial blast. If you've never smelled it before, that initial dry down is going to surprise you a little bit. But wait 20 minutes and you will be in love with it. And your partner will be in love with it. And everybody you walk past will be in love with it. It is literally just an absolute class act. But this one at retail is about $360 US, which is very expensive in this size. So what can you guys buy that also it's going to give you 85 to 95% of this? It's only going to cost you between $60 and $20. So we'll start at the high end, and the high end one clone for Parfums De Marly Layton. So this is a Parfums De Marly Layton clone. This one is Amber Oud Exclusif Bleu. We don't know the house that makes this. It's kind of a mystery out there on the interwebs, but whoever makes it, they did a good job. So now this one is definitely closer in the opening. So this one represents the opening of Parfums De Marly Layton and fairly accurately. Maybe a little bit fresher, a little bit fruitier, but you're getting probably in the opening 90% the same. So in the opening, 90% the same. This one is the most expensive. This one's coming in at around $60. This one for me in the dry down though, while it gets you close, is maybe only 80% accurate in the dry down. It kind of keeps that minty mentholated spiciness longer than Layton does in the original, if that makes sense. And you're not getting that spicy smoky Twix, the cleanness of it in the dry down. Is the dry down good? Yeah, but the dry down's maybe 80% to Layton, whereas the opening is probably 90%. So you're getting 90% in the opening, you're getting 80% in the dry down, for me, in my opinion. So if you enjoy, but this one is also very good longevity. This one lasts just as long, if not maybe even a little bit longer than the original. But I think it's because it uses some aroma chemicals to give it that opening that maybe latch onto the skin longer, because that part of the opening, that mintiness and sharp spiciness, lasts longer. It continues on into the dry down, whereas it fades away quickly in the original, right? So, but in the opening, 90%, 95% in the opening. That's what you're gonna get. In the dry down though, only about 80%. So that's the Amber Oud Exclusif Bleu, and make sure you're getting this exact one, because if you get the one from Alhambra or Hamain, it's not the same. That's going to be like a Bleu de Chanel clone. So the bottle's exactly the same. The plaque on the front's exactly the same. Only the wording on the front is different. So make sure you are, if you're looking for a Layton clone, you are looking for Amber Oud Exclusif BLEU Bleu on the bottom there, right? And you can pick this one up from, I think I got mine from Joma's shop. I think you can find it on Amazon sometimes. Just check around different places and you can find one. So that's this one and that's this one here. Set these over off to the side. We're going to bring back the original here in a minute. The next one in price point, coming down from $60 to about $50, is Dusk by the Woods Collection. This one's got a great presentation, magnetic cap. We've got a review on this on the channel. Make sure that you guys go check that one out, an unboxing and first impressions of this. I've been wearing this one a lot. This one is, I like the opening of this more than I like the opening of Layton. So this one dials down that mentholated mintiness off the top and gives you a little bit more of that. So maybe a little bit more linear. So you're getting to that dry down faster, which is what I really enjoy. So I am really enjoying this one because, yeah, so it's the opening is going to, it just smells cleaner, fresher. It's not as sharp. It doesn't burn. The menthol doesn't burn my nose. And the dry down for me, so this one is, the opening is not probably 80% in the opening, whereas the Amber Exclusif was 90% in the opening. But this one for me is about 90 to 95% in the dry down for me. So they're kind of swap. This one is putting an emphasis more. Now, is it exactly like actual Layton? Is the dry down as clean, as smooth, as well made, high, same quality? No, it's not. And that's why it's not getting that 100%, but it is getting you to about 90% of the dry down. So this one's going to be a little bit more soapy, a little bit more palatable, I think, in the opening, a little bit more mass appealing in the opening than the actual Layton is. But I'm telling you, this is a really good one. And in the dry down, this one is fabulous too. Longevity on this one as well. Maybe not as long as the Amber Oud Exclusif. Maybe, whereas that one you can get 10 hours easily, probably on my skin. You're going to get about 8 hours on this one. But this one is one that, you know, if you wear it in the day and you don't shower at night and you wake up in the next morning, you'll still smell it on you. You'll still smell it on clothes. Again, it fills up, good projection, all of that good sillage. You know, right up there with the original, but maybe a little bit more mainstream in the opening. Like you still get that vein. You still get the same notes in the top. It's just not as pungent right out of the bat, right? If that makes sense. But that one there is Dusk. This one is harder to find. This one is not available as often. I did pick this one up at Joma Shop. I had to sign up. It was out of stock. I had to sign up for a mailing list and wait till it came in line. And then I had to wait another 2 or 3 weeks to get it in. Like, this is not one that's easy to find for whatever reason, but it is a good one. And I think that the dry down for this one is better than the Amber Oud Exclusif. And the quality is better than the next one that we're going to be talking about. And the next one we're going to be talking about is the classic Detour Noir from Hamain. And the presentation on this one is absolutely horrible. I hate the bottle. I hate the cap. The atomizer surprisingly isn't that bad, but the cap is disgusting. The bottle is disgusting. Like, I would love it if Hamain took this fragrance and just put it in a new bottle. Like, they make some really good bottles in a lot of their clones nowadays. This is an older one, for sure. But just put this one in a new bottle, right? From Hamain. Put this one in a new bottle. Put it in a new bottle, please, because this bottle is embarrassing to even have on my shelf. It's embarrassing to have on my shelf. I don't like it. I don't like the bottle. And I know that shouldn't matter with the fragrance or whatever, but the cap only goes on in one way. Plastic, it's cheap. The bottle is shaped weird. The paint wears off. It's just gross. But fragrance wise, and this one I think runs in at around, I think $25. The atomizer is actually probably even better than the atomizer that's on the Layton, like as far as being pressurized and stuff like that. But the bottle itself is garbage. So this one is going to be similar to Dusk in the opening. So it's only 80% a Layton clone in the opening. And it's going to be similar to the Amber Oud Exclusif in the dry down. It's only an 80% clone in the dry down. So you're getting close, but you're not getting the accuracy of the opening or the dry down in either in this one here. But if you're on a budget and you only want to spend $20 to $25, this is a great fragrance. Like, you can't As ugly as the bottle is, you cannot bash the actual fragrance inside it, if that makes sense. But it's definitely not as close to the best aspects. This has got the dry down of Layton probably the closest. The Amber Oud Exclusif Bleu has the opening down to the basics and a lot better longevity. Now the longevity on this one too isn't bad. Probably is about the same as Dusk, 8 to 10 hours longevity on this one. It's just so dang ugly. It really is. If I could decant this whole bottle into another bottle, I would do it. Just for that reason. I know it sounds silly, but I like part of having a collection is having a collection that I think looks good as well, especially here in the studio or the office. And you know, it is what it is. I don't like that, and you can say that's silly, but that's just me. The last one that we have here is from Mason Alhambra, and this one is Layton. So they went a little bit closer, so you can see the two bottles side by side. So you know, it's got a matte blue finish. To be honest with you, the QC on the bottle itself, as far as like the quality of the matte, the quality of the bottle, the lines, the molding lines, and all of those things are actually better on this one than on the expensive one. But the cap though is a very cheap plastic cap, but it does look, I don't know why they decided to make that like a little scoop. It's kind of silly for me, but you know, it is what it is. It would have been better if it was just a normal cap, but I guess they wanted to be cool or something. I don't know. It does have on the bottle, you can see that it does have, it's Layden instead of Layton. And so, you know, it's definitely cloning that. You've got the little horses there and everything, but those aren't embossed. It's just painted onto the bottle. You do have a little plastic tab that sits in the middle of it. I don't know why they did that either. Unnecessary, just paint it on there. No reason to paint the horses on there either, in my opinion. Now this one, I bought this one on Amazon, I think, and I think I paid around 30 bucks for it. Atomizer's not bad. So this one, the performance on this one is maybe only like 6 hours. So you're not going to get good performance on it. The opening for this one for me is nowhere near the original. So, but it's closer. So the opening is closer to Layton than like a Detour Noir. Right, in my nose, the things that my nose picks up on, the chemicals that process my nose, and the opening. So let's say 85% in the opening, 85% in the dry down, but the performance sucks. It doesn't suck. You get 6 to 8 hours from it. So a little bit better quality than Detour Noir, a little bit more expensive, but you're losing the performance. The Detour Noir has better projection, better sillage, better almost everything except as far as how close it's replicating the scent. So this one for me doesn't last long. Maybe a little bit more cedary in the opening top rather than a mentholy, being mentholated. But yeah, it's a good one. So which one do I recommend based on what I enjoy about Layton? Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the mentholated opening in the original, right? So in the original that we have here, I'm also not, but I do love the dry down. So the dry down for me is the best part. That's what I want to get for, right? Like I'm just passing time until after I sprayed on, until that Layton DNA dry down comes out and shakes its head, right? So for me, my choice, my recommendation to you guys is going to be Dusk by the Woods Collection. It's hard to find, but if you really love the dry down of Layton, this one gets closest to that smoky vanillic caramel, right? So the vanilla wafer of a Twix bar plus the caramel and the chocolate and the smokiness and the spiciness that's also included in that. This one I think will get you guys there the best, and that is Dusk by the Woods Collection. Great presentation. It looks good on the shelf. Magnetic cap. All of the good stuff. Definitely don't want to hold this one by the cap though. It's not that strong. Like you might get away with it, but if you yank it too hard, it's going to fall into your hand. So, but magnetic cap for sure. Best replica of the dry down. Number 2 for me, I'm gonna go with Amber Oud Exclusif Bleu. This one is probably number 2 for me on my list as far as the colognes are concerned. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Mason Alhambra Leyden, just because the bottle is somewhat, even though it's a little bit corny, it's not as corny as this. And I very might well just decant this whole bottle into another bottle, because like just buy my own bottle and just decant this whole thing, because it's just ugly as sin. Ugly as sin. I didn't even want to buy it. I bought it for the review, but it's good. It's good. You're gonna get the best performance. This one has better performance than this. This one has a better presentation though. So if you don't care about the presentation, get this. If you do care about presentation, get this. This one's a little bit closer. That's it. That's all we've got. But pick up this one if you can afford it, because nothing, although they get close, nothing replicates the sweetness, spiciness, and greatness of the original in the dry down. The dry down on this one smokes the rest of these. Some of them get, you know, this one gets the opening really close. Maybe only, I said 95, it might even be closer to like 98, 99. There are subtle differences, but nothing hits the dry down like this one does. It is definitely, if you love it, you will end up buying it. So at some point in time, so if you're paying 60, 50, 35, 20, you're almost halfway there, right? So don't waste your money buying a bunch of different clothes. If you want to pick up one, I'm doing it for you guys. That's why I do it. But if you, I would say just pick up one clone, wear it, and if you really love it, and eventually you can save up and you can afford to buy yourself the actual thing, make sure you do that, because this one is the best. The best for me from the house, best for me out of all of these 4 scents. But you can tell that I really love the DNA because I've got 4 different clones of it. But guys, it's all we've got for me today. Let me know what you think. Which of the 4, I don't have 4 hands, but which of the 4 clones do you think smells the most like Layton? And which one do you like the most? Did I get it right? Am I a clown? I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comments below. Make sure you do like and subscribe. It's all we've got for today. We will see you guys next time. I'm out of here. Peace.